Hi, wrestling fans, and welcome to this week's edition of AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I am Mad Matt Carter, 2015 inductee into the Hall of Fame. Good to have you with us. My co-conspirators are absent. Well, Reagan is reaching out to me and asking, yes, I'm flying solo. Let me see. Invite sent. Oh, this is in compelling television. But anyway, so hopefully Brian and Reagan will be joining us shortly. But I mean, what a wild, a wild night. The last night in Mount Airy. It was incredible. And we're gonna start today with a little refresher. It was a pretty big hit for us on YouTube. But we want to go back to capital punishment back on July 20th, and we want to join this footage in progress. It was of the strap match that Ty Tyson had with Lewis Moore at that event. You'll remember there was a lot of angry people after that. But we want to set everything up so we can show you what went down last night in relation to this, okay? Because we've all got short memories today. I mean, there's 1,000 channels on cable, and we've got these pocket witches, and they just keep us with short attention span. So I wanted to reflect. We'll go back to July 20th in Mount Airy for capital punishment and take a look at this clip from that night. And again, you're looking at footage from July 20. Seth Clayton Burns had inserted himself as special guest referee in this match. And we gotta watch it close. Time has come to push the button. World. I wonder if we'll get popped for copyright on that. So watch this. It's like Tyson's got him where he wants him. Hits the Hogan big boot. Drops the leg. Into the cover. Suddenly, Seth throws his elbow out of joint. He said he had a cramp. And this is when pretty much everything begins to go downhill at this point. Again, we're looking at footage from July 20th, capital punishment right here.
That was two.
There's Rose Tyson at ringside. There's referee Reggie Cassidy. They had a referee fight. Mickey Fulp obviously thinks that's the best thing he's ever seen. That's the laughs you can hear throughout this whole thing. And here they come. Pretty Boy Lane, Casey Kane, Mickey Fulp all hit the ring. Looks like it's going to go really bad for Ty Tyson here. And again, you're watching footage from July 20th in Mount Airy. And this will all make sense as we move through the program. There's Brian Danzig watching this. They told him they loved him, but they wanted him to leave the ring. I don't think Lewis Moore felt that way. Now watch this. This is where it gets kind of ugly. Ty Tyson is just trying to choke Lewis Moore with all of his strength.
He's trying to choke him completely out. I think Lewis Moore is unconscious.
I think Reagan, you can't really hear her, but I think she's trying to say that Ty is going to kill Lewis if he's not careful. And that's what we don't want is a murder. I mean, we've seen that in other wrestling groups before, with, attempted murder, and that was pretty close. I guess the collateral damage wasn't enough.
Diesel has come in. Wall's in town.
All right. I'm going to stop it off right there. And there you have it. All right. So that's how it all started. When we were in Mount Airy back in July. So I am getting notes like from my co-host. We're having technical difficulties. Waiting for the host to start the meeting. The host has already started the meeting, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Let's see here if I've got any. No. I don't know, man. It was probably some technical difficulty. I was short in doing. I'm not sure. I'm not going to stop now. We're already recording. We're this far into it. So anyway, so last night at the show, things were kind of somber in the beginning because we had to do a 10 bell salute as a tribute to Joey Nuggs, who, as you know, we talked about last week, recently passed away at a kind of an unusually young age. It's kind of been rough. It didn't really hit me at first, but it's been it's not been easy. I can tell you that, because if you look behind me at this banner right here, that Joey Nuggs gave me that as a Christmas gift just a couple of years ago. And we've got banners that match at Veterans Park, if you've ever been there, that hang on the rails. So it's kind of rough. And we did the 10 bell salute to Joey Nuggs. And so it was a rough deal. But after the 10 bell salute, I went ahead and started rolling the fan cam because something very odd happened. Reagan came out and would not let the wrestlers go to the back. She had somebody chirping in her ear saying, you gotta keep these guys out here. So anyway, then this happened. So check this out. This is footage from last night.
I don't know.
September 14th.
You gotta stop.
I gotta get dressed for my man.
Look at it.
Reagan's
You
stopping.
wanna look good on TV?
Reagan
Then
is
you gotta
stopping
listen to me.
everybody from leaving ringside from Joey Nuggs' 10 bell salute.
You gotta listen to me.
Lord knows she's never looked good.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
Notification, like,
I don't know.
What,
Oh, they
put on the headset.
said for
Oh,
everybody
you
to
got-
wait.
So we got. Somebody's telling Reagan that everybody has to wait out here, is what I understand.
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
All they did was say everybody's gotta wait.
I don't know if there's something going on in the back.
Maybe I'm trying to keep you safe. Did you ever think about that? We're living in uncertain times, said Clayton Burns.
No truth to the rumor that somebody's eating dogs and cats back there. What? The lights just went off in here.
Pass back on. Really?
So that's music we don't hear very much these days.
Leave it to Rick D's tragedy is on the first time.
I started the AIWF in 1992 right here in this town. In 1996, we started running this building. Since then, I've come and win. I've done matches, I've wrestled, I've done the commissioner thing, I've done it all in this business. I've edited video. For the last few years, I've been content with sitting in the back in the dressing room, taking change to the concession stand and picking up trash after the wrestlers and doing the thing old retired wrestlers do. You do it very well. I don't know how many of you were here a few months back at Capital Punishment when Ty Tyson and Lewis Ford tried to kill each other right here in this very ring. And I had to come out, they asked me, Reagan asked me, he said, look, go out there, see if you can do something. Reagan had got knocked down. Brian Danzig had got knocked down. And in the heat of everything, I guess, somehow, Ty Tyson, the father of my grandchildren, punched me in the face.
Again, this is footage from September 14th. Last night as we record.
He apologized. We worked everything out. You know, we had dinner, he drank a beer, whatever it is he does. But I've been thinking a lot here lately. Kyle, come here. Come on in. You know what? Hey, skinny fella in a funny suit. You come here too. You had a part in that. You were there. There was a time when I caused total chaos in this company. Me, Brian, the family. I don't know. If you want to know the kind of chaos we used to cause, go to the AIWF Network on YouTube and look up the cyber zones.
Yeah, you can take my word for it. They put me in a dress one time.
But see, I've been thinking about this whole thing. And I know we work things out. You are the father of my grandchildren. So, you just dress funny. But anyway, nothing against Reagan. I know everybody loves her. But I think it's time that somebody steps up and takes charge of the AIWF Mid Atlantic. And I think I'm just the man to do it. Right? Hey, if I caused that much chaos back then, I can have some fun now, right? Come here a little bit. So I just want all you guys to know that I'm taking back the company I started 33 years ago. Yeah. And I am going to run this thing. I'm going to make matches and I'm going to cause chaos once again. Right now. Yeah. So and I hate you new guys. It's just, I mean, we got new guys on the show here, and I hate you guys had to come into this kind of drama, you know? But hey, it's wrestling. It's all about drama, right? So what I want everybody to know is the crazy stuff that you guys are going to have to start going through now, the crazy matches, the stuff that makes you go, what the F just happened? Yeah. I want all of you to know that it's all going to be Tyson's fault. Yeah. You punched me in the face. Yeah. Let's start it off right.
Nice job breaking that fight up, Rip.
He punched me in the face. Well, that ain't my fault. Listen, I'm not saying he's not a good dad, but sometimes even a good dad needs to get his attitude adjusted a little bit.
Yes! Sir, you got something brown on your nose.
There you have it. Okay. That was an unusual turn. And yes, we are having technical difficulties, and I will apologize to Brian and Reagan. I do think that I screwed up the link somehow, and I'm sorry. I don't know how to send a invite for this thing, although I'll try. Let's see what I can do here. Let's see here. This is the link of the meeting that I'm in. I'm going to try this. I know that, again, viewers, you know, and I'm sending this one directly to you, Reagan. Try that one. Yeah, so that was an unusual turn. It was just weird, you know. I never would have thought that Rick Diesel would have all the guys beat up his own son-in-law. But when Rick Diesel is in direct command of AIWF, as he has not been in the last several years, things like this tend to happen. I will tell you fans this: you may think that some of this stuff is unfair, that you don't like it, but it will be enjoyable. It will be exciting, I promise. Good things are on the horizon. Maybe not for Ty Tyson, but for all of us wrestling fans. And how about Reagan getting into it with Seth Clayton Burns? I can already tell. I really think that this is going to end up leading to some kind of sanctioned situation between those two, because they are into it nonstop with the verbal stuff. And Reagan is liable to come out of retirement. And you know, I don't know. I hope she doesn't, because I think we're all too old to. The wrestling is a young man's game or a young woman's game. And I don't, but you know what? Brian did it, and he's doing fine. He didn't get hurt. So anyway, it is what it is. So let me and we've got some more footage to show you from last night too. I'm limited on what I can show you, you know, of course, because of our restrictions by the office for YouTube. Oh, it's got a passcode on it. All right, let's see here. Let's see if I can find the passcode. Passcode. Yeah, I got it here. Hang on, Reagan. I was in a hurry setting the meeting up and screwed it up. I know you're loving this at home, but anyway, so great things are coming, and the AIWF Mid Atlantic is actually going to be in action at the Mount Airy, at Veterans Park in Mount Airy, this coming Friday and Saturday as part of the fair. And you do not have to buy an extra ticket to see the wrestling. You can actually just buy a ticket to the fair. You're going to come anyway, right? The fair is great. And they have all kinds of other shows and rides and food, and Lord have mercy. I know I went to Cabarrus County Fair down here in Concord earlier this week and ate so much. Yeah, I had a rough go of it intestinal tract wise on Friday. So Brian and Reagan are joining us. Looks like we got them coming into the room right now. Welcome. Sorry, that was on me, guys. But we've covered a lot already.
Okay. So yeah, that was the confusion. This is not the number of the meeting that I always sign into.
Oh, okay. Well, I noticed something looked different about the link when Zoom generated it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's updated it finally after 2 years.
Maybe, because the one I went in said Matt's private room and it began with a 9. This one begins with an 8, so it's different. So it's fine. We're on now after 30 minutes.
So I don't know if you guys were watching while you were trying to get on, but we covered the footage from back at Capital Punishment when Ty Tyson went crazy and knocked out you and Brian and Rick Diesel, and that led into what we saw last night at the beginning of the show. After the 10-bell salute, you told everybody they had to stay. You didn't know why. You were getting orders from a mystery man in the back. Turns out that was Rick Diesel. But you know, and he came out, said what he had to say, said he was taking back over direct control of the AIWF, which, you know, I've had no problem with. I kind of have been wanting him to do that for a while now. But basically he said anything bad that happens is going to be all Ty Tyson's fault. And every wrestler that had beef with Ty Tyson immediately hit the ring, swarmed him like a bunch of angry yellow jackets. I mean, Ty's friends came to the aid, but it took them a few seconds, because I don't know about y'all, but I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It happened so fast.
Yeah, everybody was so shocked that, everybody was just kind of stunned. And then they were like, oh, wait a minute. Our friend is being mauled in the ring. Let's go help him.
Crazy. And it was a crazy way to start off the show. But I mean, Reagan, you seem like you were pretty mad at Rick Diesel for sicking the boys on his son-in-law. Which, you know, I mean, I know plenty of married people that would be an ideal situation to put an in-law in.
That's true.
And so
That's true. I mean, it's just, you see, I mean, it was a shock. I think it was a shock to me. It was a shock to everybody in the back, um, you know, I don't know. I mean, we all know what Rick Diesel was like 15, 20, 25 years ago.
Even longer than that in some cases.
Yeah, and I think people may have forgotten about that since, I mean, what he said was true. He is running money. He was doing all this like business stuff, and and looking back, I know hindsight's 2020, but looking back, you're like, oh, I guess that's why he did that, or I guess that was, why didn't I see this coming type of thing. But I mean, how could you? I mean, he hasn't done anything except when he came out, 1 year ago, he came out and got his Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And then at Deal with the Steel, he came out. Wait, not Deal with Steel. The one before. Capital Punishment. Jeez. Yeah. And tried to calm down Ty. And then, but yeah, it's I think it's a shocker. It's a shocker for everybody. It's kind of a sad situation when you think about it too. So I don't know. I wished he was on so we could hear I guess I want to hear what he has to say. I'm not sure I do or not.
I wanted him to come on, but he's busy with, he's got like 27 jobs. And so, and I spoke with Trista last night, and this is not related to her husband getting beat up, because I think she kind of just, after the initial shock war, kind of rolled her eyes. It was like, well, my daddy's wrestling. I married a wrestler. This is the kind of shit that goes on between wrestlers. I just got to keep on keeping on. And she was telling me about like some of the prep they had to do for the fair and some of the issues they were having. And so they're probably putting, broom to cobweb and mop to dirty floor right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, but yeah, treats will be out at the fair at the big main concession stand up near the picnic shelter. So be sure and check them out when you're at the fair. And of course, like I said earlier, your fair admission includes your wrestling ticket. So if you go on Friday or Saturday, you've got ample opportunities. I think there's going to be 2 shows on Friday and 3 on Saturday, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
Yeah, I think the Friday show starts at 7 or 7:30. And then I think the Saturday starts at 5. I can look. Let me look because I saw where it said, but yeah.
And now, depending on those are our tentative times. Sometimes if another performance is conflicting with those times, we will adjust our times. Mm-hmm. But it'll be around those times. It won't be, if it is a change, it won't be more than like 15-30 minutes at the most.
Because it says from Friday it should start around between 7 and 7:30, and then the first one Saturday should be around 5 to 5:30.
All right. So, but those announcements will be made over the fairgrounds PA, so you will know.
Yeah, and we'll also put signs up at or near the building of the exact start times as well. With each show time, like we did last year, we put a sign out, wrestling at 5 p.m. or 8:15, or whatever our start time is what we'll do. So you'll know when it's getting ready to start.
Next regular TV taping for us will be on October 5th. So mark that date out on your calendars as well, wrestling fans.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get into that as we get closer to it. It's going to be here before you know it. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be the last show before Fright Night. So you definitely don't want to miss all what comes before Fright Night. You want to see that before seeing the actual big event.
Yeah, and I was telling the fans, boy, they missed out last night. We had a lot of new debuts. I don't have my cards with me. Like I said, I just have an issue today.
So I remember, let's see, we had Rabbit Rogue and Gunner who took on Joe Harrison.
Yep.
And then we had Sexy Gouda.
Yep. The
versus
big cheese, Sexy Gouda.
But Cam Isaac he wrestled Cam Isaac.
Mhm.
And then we had Sexy Z.
Zexy
Zexy Z, who took
the guy that Mickey Fulp beat up.
Yes,
Yes.
Sexy. It's Sexy Z something. I don't remember the last name.
Yeah, I can't remember where he came from, but I hate it for him that he came all that way just to get his ass kicked. Welcome to the Mid Atlantic.
Mickey Fulp was in a rare mood last night. I mean,
well, Mickey Fulp was probably like, we only need one skinny guy that gyrates in the ring. That's what Pretty Boy Lane does. He takes off his shirt and then, you know,
yeah, gimmick infringement.
And then there was my Iron.
Lane's gonna be pissed when he sees that.
Yes. Ironhead Matt Anderson took on a new guy too. I can't wait. I can tell you.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I hoped you had some notes.
But yeah, so there were a lot of new people.
Yeah,
and I'm glad to see them.
It's a good time for new guys to come in after Deal with the Steel. You know, before then in the build-up of Deal with the Steel, there's you know, not a lot of room for a whole lot of new talent. But then after Deal with the Steel is kind of the reset, and so we can, you know, a lot of the guys who've been wanting to come in, we have more openings for them at that point. So.
I've always said about WWE, the calendar year for WWE is the beginning of it is the Raw after WrestleMania, and the end of it is WrestleMania. And I think for us, kind of works the same way. Deal with the Steel is the end of our calendar year, and then the following show is the beginning. So I think that's just how it works out. Of course, you know, some people could argue back and forth which is bigger, Deal with the Steel or Fright Night. But I would say Deal with the Steel just because more people simply come to that. You know?
I think the all steel cage matches just has an appeal to people that it just draws them in, and I mean, I don't blame them. It is a very special night, but
because they don't see us put up that cage, you know, very much at all. So
yeah,
I deleted the list of people. I don't know why I can't remember the person who wrestled. I feel terrible. I remembered everybody else's name, which, if you know me, is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, it was good.
Maybe we'll remember.
I couldn't, but the kid had a good showing against Matt Anderson. He lost.
I do remember him making the claim of 0% body fat.
Oh yeah.
And again, like I said on commentary, there was nothing wrong with his physique, but if you're going to claim 0% body fat, you gotta have the washboard abs. I'm sorry, and he did not.
And I just happened to lean over to get a drink of water when you made that comment, and I heard you say it. And I was going outside anyway for a breath of fresh air, but man, I was not expecting to have tears in my eyes when I went out there. I couldn't have filmed that match for 2 or 3 minutes anyway because I wouldn't have been able to see. It's some things that just strike you funny, you know. And there
were a lot of those comments last night.
There were. Boy, Jason took quite the beating on the microphone from the boys last night. That was hilarious. And I didn't hear all the comments clearly because sometimes when you're standing on the other side of the building, and I'm guilty of this, just the same as somebody gets up too close to the microphone, it causes it to and so some of those comments I didn't hear, but just the inflection on them, I was just like, that sounded like a burn.
A burn from Seth Burns.
Yeah. I ran across a bunch of clips of Kelso on that 70s show. What's the actor's name? Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, you know, where he's like, burn! You know, it's like people have put compilations together of him just doing that, you know. But anyway, all in all, a great and enjoyable show last night. Stay tuned to our YouTube channels for that footage. It will be coming in the next few weeks. We do have a little more to show you tonight, though. But right now, I need to tell you about Premier Auto Detailing, and I'm going to do that real quick and share our slideshow. Premier Auto Detailing is a custom car wash and detailing service that operates in the Mount Airy, Surry County area. They do old jalopies, new cars, whatever. If you don't want to wash your car for whatever reason, if you don't got time or you're just too lazy, Premier Auto Detailing can help you out. We say hands down, they're the best car cleaning service in town. Call 336-736-2638. Tell them AIWF Ringside Wrestling sent you. They can handle residential jobs, commercial jobs. If you got a used car lot, don't want to hire somebody just to wash the inventory, these are your guys, Premier Auto Detailing. And you can give them a call at 336-736-2638 and get more information. Premier Auto Detailing. Well, fall is just around the corner. And it seems like here in the Old North State, we've gotten lucky and the heat has broken a little bit early. I probably just jinxed it by saying that, and it's going to be hot through Halloween. But anyway, now's a good time to think about Tees, Treats, Custom Creations. They do custom-made t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, all that kind of stuff for your festivals and reunions. They're all over the internet. They're fall designs. Some of them are out. You can find them at teescreations22.com or Tees Creations by Allied Apparel on Facebook, TikTok, Tees Creations, as well as Shopify. So check them out for your custom-made t-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies and whatnot. And also AIWF fan gear. They actually handle the AIWF t-shirts and stuff like that. So if any of the boys and girls are out there listening and you don't want to have to go to a third-party vendor somewhere out of state, you've got somebody that can help you out, and I'm sure give you a whole lot better price on custom-made t-shirts for you to sell at the old merchandise stand right here with Tees Creations. You know who to talk to. Approach them. Talk to them about it. And if you'd like to get an ad here on our program, you can do it for $10 a month. We'll do 4 reads. If we take a week off, you don't have to pay for it because we will make sure that you get your money's worth. And it's only $10 a month. So you can reach out to myself at a live event or via Facebook if you're friends with me. I had to close that up because politics. And so if you're already friends with me or you know somebody that is interested in an ad, just get in touch with me some way. Or you can reach out to AIWF20@hotmail.com, which is always the best way to reach out to us. And of course, our Facebook page as well, AIWF Mid Atlantic. You can reach out there. We ain't hard to find, and might be having a new food truck coming on board soon.
I heard that.
Yeah, so we're just waiting on to get the copy and some photos and stuff like that to put up. So yeah, man, we're friends of the small business around here. Hey, we're entry-level independent promotion, man. This is where guys come to get their start. We're not hoity-toity at all, and we're definitely friends with small business, man. That's why our rates are so cheap. So, if you got a side hustle you'd like to promote on this show, we get a fair amount of views on Facebook every week. YouTube depends on the thumbnail, but most people will watch us on Facebook. And I was talking to people in the crowd last night, and that's where most of them get us. And so you can see your ads will go in front of a pretty big audience on Facebook. Show's also archived on YouTube, and so if you ever buy an ad spot with us, it'll be there forever. So also that happened last night, a couple of I don't want to say weird things, but we were able to commandeer the footage. We tried to play. Remember, we were trying to play that footage back.
Yes.
We had backstage footage that we wanted to play for the fans, but we couldn't. But, graciously enough, we were able to commandeer that footage today, and I was able to download it, and I'm going to show it to you right now. It's Rick Diesel going into each of the separate locker rooms and making his announcement about the future. And this, you're thinking, well, didn't he already tell him that out in the arena? Well, he didn't tell him everything. And so here comes the rest.
Guys. Hey, everybody pay attention. Flash! What? Put the freaking phone down. What, are you watching porn again in my locker room? Jesus, I can't do nothing with him.
Using
Listen,
the park
guys,
after that.
I just want everybody to understand that now that I'm taking the company back and things are going to change, it's going to be a whole lot on me. So I just want to introduce everybody to my new personal assistant.
Oh, come on. Thank you.
I'm serious. Now, look, I can't handle everything. I'm old. All right?
You got him.
Look, look at him. He's wiry. He's
just nice.
Y'all better put that down.
You got this freaking sleazeball working for you?
Yeah. Just calm down.
I don't remember his name.
I don't even like you. Get out.
Write it down. It went well.
That went well, Rick Diesel says. I don't know. That was the locker room that Justin Flash was in. Brian, I don't think I'd classify that as going well.
But
Y'all are muted.
I don't know that it went well, but I think what he meant was he got his point across. Just because the talent wasn't happy about it, but he let them know exactly what what's going on now.
Well, I heard Justin Flash very loudly in the back, and Rick Diesel accused him of watching porn on his phone, which is next to impossible down there. If you've ever been
you
to
don't
the
have
park,
any service to do anything like
I mean,
that.
I guess it's impossible. I mean, I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know either because I've never tried to watch porn at the park. But oh Lord, that could be an event, right? Porn.
That's what I was going to say. That sounds like the name of some kind of show, Porn at the Park.
Festival, yeah, I'm sure that would get over like a fart in church in Mount Airy. But anyway, so then Rick Diesel goes into the other dressing room and kind of makes the same announcement, but we want to share that with you. Now, this is the dressing room where normally you'd find Seth Clayton Burns' boys, Pretty Boy Lane, Mason Matthews, I think, was back there. And so, yeah, we'll take a look at that one now. And as you'll hear, the reaction is a little bit different.
Gentlemen, how's everybody doing today? God, thank you very much. Aaron Wilson, God bless, put some pants on.
I already do.
Look at this place we're in back here. People think I got big snakes running around. Anyway, listen to me. It's just like I told the guys in the other locker room. I got a lot on me right now. So I'm taking over the company. Things are going to be a little different, so I had to go out and get me a personal assistant. Come here, buddy. This guy here is going to be helping me.
Put the pants on.
He'll be doing autographs later.
Thank you.
You know what, Rick? That's the best decision you done made in a long, long time.
How you doing, man?
This is wonderful. Thank you.
I actually went better than
It is. I'm shocked.
Oh Lord. All right. Well, again, there you have it. Thoughts?
Again, I think the message that he was trying to get across, the guys heard it loud and clear. And the thing is, from what I've seen, is the sleeping giant kind of got reawoken when Rick started, because there for a long time you never saw him at ringside, even at ringside, much less in the ring. But I think it may have started when he was inducted in the Hall of Fame. I think it's that itch. It's like you get out in that ring and you start getting that reaction from the crowd again, and it's like, oh, I remember this. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then more and more you kept seeing him more and more making appearances. He presented Flash with the new Mid Atlantic title. Then he gave Corey and Mecca the new tag team titles. More and more you kept seeing him, and I think that he's like, I'm ready to get in the spotlight again. And it's definitely for good or bad, it's definitely going to be interesting. One way or the other, it's going to be good for some people and not so good for others, but it's going to be a hell of a ride.
Yes, it is. You know, I was kind of thinking the same as you were saying that, and I don't know what it's like to be a active competitor, but man, when I walk out there and I pick up that microphone and those people know the show's about to start and they start hollering, and I'll say, "Welcome to the lovely Veterans Park here in Mount Airy," and they cheer. I know they're not cheering me; they're cheering. Oh, right, the show's about to start. Finally, you know, good. I was just finishing my hot dog. Let's go, and but it's a hell of a good feeling, and I can't imagine when the cheers are directly at you. It's gotta just make your trying to say some kind of cliche and not
Warms
be
your
obscene.
heart.
It warms your heart.
Yeah, warms your heart. Yeah,
I mean, it's you know, it never leaves your blood, and it's just it's. I mean, I've said all my life, it's. I mean, I don't want to undermine people's, but it's like an addiction. Like you can't get away from it.
Mhm.
Like it's always once there, it's always there, and it's just lying dormant till you start doing something, and then it just starts creeping back.
Right.
Creeping
It's like
back.
you can be gone for years, and then just like we did the last time, let's just go to a show, say hello to people that we haven't seen in a while, and then you start going back a little bit more, a little bit more, and then before you know it, you're behind the camera,
You're
running things.
your balls deep into it.
Yep. 2014, I went to deal with the steel. That was the year I got married and moved down here. I went to deal with the steel. I texted Dean and asked him, you know, like, "Hey man, you know, I'm thinking of bringing a wife up to show her, you know, what we did for all them years." Now I had been gone since 2010, right? Show up just to watch. Chastity was even getting ready to sell me a ticket till Rick Diesel stopped her. He was like, "He's in the Hall of Fame. He don't have to buy a ticket." And within 10 minutes, I've been asked to ring announce and film from the outside. And I've been back ever since. So,
Yeah.
you know.
That's what I think we came back 2 years ago, maybe, and we just were watching. And then we'd go, I was like, "Hey, let's just go again. Hey, let's go in." And then someone said, "Hey, Brian, can you do commentary?" Yeah. And then I'm sitting in the crowd, and I'm like, "God Almighty, I'm having to sit here by myself. This sucks. People think I'm looking at them and taking their picture. What the hell?" And then I was like, "Hey, why don't y'all? I know you got somebody to do that back there with the cameras and stuff. Well, just show me how to do it, and just in case y'all need somebody to help." And then I don't even think that. I think it just went
Right. It just went straight to you.
me.
Yes.
So that's what
I knew
happens.
that was going to happen when you asked that question. I was just like, "Oh, well, meet your new producer, boys." So,
But and you know, I would say, I mean, the thing about Rick Diesel is, I don't want this is gonna sound terrible, but I think everybody was just, I think it got to him that everybody just kind of looked at him like an old man. He's the old man that sits in the back and hands out the envelopes and hands out the cash to Chastity and the change, and takes Trista the change for her, and like make sure there's water bottles, and you know, just all this stuff that just, I mean, I know who I mean, I could just see that eating him up inside, because I mean, like I said, if you don't know what Rick Diesel is like, you need to go back to some of them cyber zones and see what a maniac he is. I mean, that's what his shirt said, maniacs. What is spot?
Maniac Spider Trash.
oh yeah.
So I mean,
Was that a band? Was that a band?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
It was the AIWF theme songs band, wasn't it? No, okay.
No, it was just a local band from the 90s.
But like they just don't know what's coming.
No.
I mean,
Great name.
Brian was part of the group with Dean way before I came. I'm sorry, Rick. God Almighty. Phew, with Rick.
If you ever let it slip, just don't sell it. Just keep going.
Oh, that's right. I'm a little, yeah. But anyway, Brian was in it much longer before I came along. When it was just pretty much you, Rick, and Daniel, and then some people that came flittering in and out.
Bad Brad was
so-
in there. Yeah.
But I tell you that
Oh yeah, Brad. Yeah.
the last night was just a taste of what's to come. All of the chaos.
You got that right, because he's telling the truth. When the first time he was in a commissioner role was during the Cyber Zone era in the mid 2000s, and that was pretty wild. You can see some of that on both the YouTube channels. That was pretty wild. His active wrestling career had ended by that point, because I think he was ready to retire probably 3 or 4 years before he actually did. He was.
Oh yeah.
Because he was just. Rick Diesel wrestled a hardcore style like Brian did a lot of times, and more actually, because Brian, you can do catch as catch can. Rick Diesel was more of a brawler, I think. His
yeah, he was.
And so I think that you know he burned through his wrestling years a little quicker than most. You know, if you ever saw some of the battles, this is going real old school from the early to mid 90s that he had with Chris Wyndham. I remember they had a Falls Count Anywhere match at Bassett High School that I was at 2 years before I joined up with the troop. And it's just like, holy God, man, it was insane. So, but yeah, get ready, folks. I told the fans at the beginning of this before you guys got on it. You may not like it. You may think he's mean-spirited sometimes, but you will be entertained, and it will be unpredictable. You know, but you know, a lot more happened last night that we need to cover, and I'm going to do this before I hit my next ad break, because it's kind of a long segment. It's 6 minutes and 28 seconds. It happened after Mickey Fulp's match, and Seth Clayton Burns came into the ring. You know, there's been tension between Mickey Fulp and Seth Clayton Burns for months now. Mickey Fulp, and I don't think he's wrong when he says this, thinks that Seth Burns cost him the match against Joe Harrison at Deal with the Steel. I think he's probably right, you know, and so, but Seth Clayton Burns owns Mickey Fulp's contract, and so that created an interesting situation, and we will go and take a look at that as soon as I can get set up. As I said, I'm having technical difficulties today. It's been a bad football weekend. Wake Forest lost by 34 points yesterday. Ole Miss hung 40 points on them, and the 49ers lost today. And I'm just.
And that was their homecoming, wasn't it? Wake Forest?
It was their first home game of the year, I think.
I thought it was homecoming. Never mind.
God, I hope not. Their AD needs to schedule an easier game for homecoming than bringing a number 5 team in the country in there. Freaking Ole Miss.
Not that red, because it's pointless. Never mind. The reason is that a bunch of them stayed at Grayland, the estates, and people were putting up pictures of the fancy food that they got there because they were staying there for the homecoming game. That's what I thought. So it doesn't matter. I'm rambling.
And they lost anyway, so. It's going to be, look, fellow Deacon fans, we'll get back to wrestling in just a second, but just for my fellow Deacon fans, you knew this was coming when what's his name left for Notre Dame. It's going to be a few rough years. We're just going to have to suck it up and just wait until they get some more talented people in there. Not that there's anything wrong with the football players there now, because they're bigger than me and could beat my ass, so maybe they won't see this. Anyway, back to wrestling. Here's what happened when Seth Clayton Burns and Mickey Fulp finally had their meeting last night.
Now, hold on. I know it's time we address the elephant in the room. And I ain't talking about Jason either. At Deal with the Steel, Mickey Fulp, you lost your television championship to Average Joe Harrison. Now, regardless of what anyone wants to believe, I helped Mickey Fulp. At Deal with the Steel, you were beat, and it was me getting in the ring, low blowing Joe Harrison. It was me holding Joe Harrison up, and Mickey Fulp not wanting to pull the trigger. thinking about this for weeks now, man. And for you to come out here and tell me it's my fault that I lost that damn match, I want to remind you something. I beat Joe Harrison twice before your dumbass came in the picture. I told you, I didn't ask, I told you to stay away from the ringside deal to steal, and you still came out. I'd about put every bit of money I made that night. I guarantee you, I would still be the TV champion if it wasn't for you. I ain't gonna play hot potato with a microphone tonight. Mickey Falk, you don't tell me what to do. Get that through your thick, stupid skull right now. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Do you understand what I'm telling you? I can ask you the same question. What I've realized over these past couple weeks, I don't need you, you need me. I ain't Jack Bird wasn't anything until you got Mickey Falk. Look at me, boy. Look at me. Don't forget who owns you, Mickey Falk. Now let me make this very clear. At Deal with the Steel, the only person who did as they were told was Marvelous Mason Matthews. You didn't listen, you lost the title. No, actually, you know what? You also didn't listen. I'm gonna keep interrupting you. You wanna play this? We're gonna play this, dummy. You have no business being in the Cruiserweight title match. Hell, you screwed over Lane and Kaysen too. It seems to me that you have a favorite Mason Matthews. I get what's going on now. It's taken me a minute, but I figured it out. When a father has children, and you're gonna learn this very soon, when a father has children, the oldest is sometimes considered the favorite. The youngest is considered the baby, and his baby. And Mickey, what you're suffering right now is middle child syndrome. See, you came into the picture, and let's be honest, you're jealous of Mason Matthews. You think I'm giving all my attention to him? I'm grooming him. I bet you are. I'm not Dan Snyder. The only person grooming is Jason. Now let me make this very clear one final time, Mickey Falk. I own your contract. I tell you where to go, when to go, and where to be there. If I tell you to lay down, you lay down. And let's be honest, Mickey, I can do whatever the hell I want. I own your bitch ass. So, I do whatever I want. There's not a damn thing you can do about it. Yeah. How you like to take
Oh my God! Walt just piled you. Set Clayton Burns.
You don't know anything because I can't. Believe me, you son of a bitch. I will break your damn neck if you ever let it happen to me again. And I hope your neck is broken on a power conscience. I will kill you. I will take you out back and kill you. Do you understand me?
You made your damn point. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here.
Wow. That was certainly something. I hate seeing a small little guy like that pile driven. I know he was asking for it, and I know Mickey was really angry, but just at the personal level, and I've gone on record on this show, and you guys have heard, I hate pile drivers. I just hate them. You know, they're so dangerous. And Seth Clayton Burns, if he's 150 pounds soaking wet, you know, but his neck looks like it looked like a slinky going down the stairs. That was rough. But you know, the odd thing about that to me was Brian and Reagan is Mason Matthews did not attack Mickey Folk.
Yeah.
He
No.
was like, "You made your point, get out of here," and he let him leave. And I figured when I saw Mason Matthews coming through the curtain, I was like, "Oh boy, here we go." Attack him. I just thought that was strange. I don't know what's behind that.
It's almost, I'm wondering if Seth Burns had told them beforehand not to attack Mickey, because Mickey is still his investment. I mean, whether at this point Seth Burns probably isn't happy with the investment that he's made, just like Mickey isn't happy, you know, that he had signed a contract with Seth Burns, but he's still an investment. He still has a vested interest in the success of Mickey Folk. So it's still it's just an odd situation for both of them. I was wondering when Seth Burns was going to play the I own your contract card. I know it's kind of a last resort for him, because you want to keep your you want to keep your wrestlers happy, and reminding them that you pretty much control their career isn't a good way to do that, especially when you have one that's already unhappy with you. But you know, that was kind of his last card to play. Like, you're not the boss of me, I'm the boss of you. So, but that, of course, as we all knew, that was not going to play well with Mickey.
Mickey made eye contact with me at one point right before that slap. And you know when you know somebody good enough, you can read their thoughts through their eyes.
Yes.
Mickey looked at me, and what I saw in his eyes was, this guy just fucked up, Matt. And and that was even before the slap. So I was just like,
right.
As I reacted more, like when I said, "Oh my God," I wasn't surprised that Mickey did something. I was surprised he snatched him up and pile drove him.
Right.
You know, that was vicious. I mean, it was really, really nasty. And kudos to our security team and everybody, but I thought they were a little quick to move Seth, you know, after suffering a pile driver.
Yeah, I know. Like,
it's like you might want to support his neck. It made me think of that scene in Semi Pro when they carry Will Ferrell off the court, and and the announcer's like, "Boy, it's really dangerous the way they're handling him and his neck dangling like that." You know.
well, at one point it looked like they were carrying him like a baby, so that has to be pretty humiliating for a grown man that somebody's just carrying him like a baby.
I wish we could find. Remember those army cot or thing like that Big Don used to bring, where it was like taking somebody off the battlefield. I think if we could track some of those down, they might be better for injuries
for the wrestlers.
Yeah,
probably so.
So I don't even know what you call those things. I tend to
stretchers.
Well, they are a stretcher, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it would be a stretcher.
Yeah.
It's just not like a stretcher you think of.
It's like a regiment stretcher.
Yeah, a battlefield stretcher. You know.
Yeah.
Because you see, like when the EMTs come or whatever, the gurneys they have on the ambulances now are all mechanized, and they got motors, and they can do all kinds of stuff. Well, I'm talking about just some kind of battlefield basic type thing to help out. But
yeah.
So we didn't see Seth Burns anymore for the rest of the night. I don't know if Rick Diesel's executive assistants. I'm sure he'll bounce back. I mean, we didn't see him in front of the crowd, but I did see him in the locker room, and he was pretty messed up. But I mean, he hadn't gone to see a doctor or anything, so I guess that's good. There's no type of serious injury there. Let's see here. One other thing happened last night I think we need to review. Brian, you went in the ring and conducted an interview with Chris Tenney and Richie Mitchell. And that was a nice surprise seeing those guys. I mean, I'd heard they were coming, but I hadn't seen them in so long. It's just like, it's like Christmas morning every time they show up, and the fact just to
Yeah.
visit, and so and now after we learned, Chris Tenney watches the show, we learned he just is not recently won another martial arts championship, and now him and Richie seem to have the itch again. So I want to play this interview for the fans, because of what happened with them, ruining Corey Etzel and Mecha Mercenary, ruining or attempting to ruin Richie being inducted into the Hall of Fame at Deal with the Steel. Well, they showed up and they had some words. I'm just waiting for the thing to, all right, here we go. And I'm going to share this and roll the video with you and I'll let the fans hear their comments in their own words.
All right, guys. We all know what happened. Corey Etzel and Mega Mercenary came out and interrupted your Hall of Fame induction at Deal with the Steel. And rightfully so, both of you were very upset. You wanted to get your hands on them. I didn't blame you one bit, but we just couldn't have it happen at Deal with the Steel. We had the matches lined up. We couldn't allow the flow of the event to be interrupted. They had a match that night. We couldn't have that be jeopardized. And I knew the only way that I could get you guys to calm down was to promise you that you could get your hands on them in the future. I told you I would make this right, and that we would right this wrong. And so I talked to Rick Diesel and Reagan. I put you in front of them, and so I want to talk to you guys. What came to that meeting? What did they have to say about the situation?
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate all you fans out here at AIWF fans. Thank you. I'm sorry. I know you're getting tired of seeing the disrespect from Corey Etzel and Mecha Mercenary. They disrespect y'all every time they come out here, and then they start disrespecting him, Reagan, Rick Diesel, everybody, AIWF in general, and then they interrupt the Hall of Fame. And I got inducted at, as Richie mentioned, Chris Tenney already remembered. Well, those guys are in the Hall of Fame. They're done. But what people don't remember, we wrestled for years as Matrix and Tenney across the independents, across all over the place. So Matrix and Tenney went to Rick Diesel. He said yes to a match. So we're going to beat some respect into the two big guys for everybody. So at the Fright Night, we challenged them two guys to a match, and we're going to get it, my God.
Rich, at the Hall of Fame, he made a comment that there was a certain item Mecca and Corey was toting around that he wasn't really interested in. I know we could beat those two guys till they turn blue, we turn blue, they quit breathing, we quit breathing. They might learn a little bit of respect. There's a little item they carry. I think if we take those trinkets from them, then they'll have every reason in the world to respect Tenney and Matrix. What do you think about that?
That's a great idea. So we're going to challenge those two for the AIWF Mid Atlantic Tag Team Championship. And we're going to beat some respect for all of y'all, for the AIWF, for Brian Danzig, his wife Reagan, Rick Diesel. We're going to beat them too until they can't even get off the mat.
All right, folks, there you have it. At Fright Night, October 26th, Matrix and Tenney versus Corey Etzel and Mecha Mercenary right here, October 26th at Fright Night. I know I can't wait. You don't want to miss it. I've been in the ring with these two guys, and they can put up one hell of a fight, I'll tell you that right now. Those two guys, they don't know what they've gotten themselves into, I'll tell you that right now.
All right. That was great. This is going to be more than a nostalgia act, though, because these
Oh
two.
yeah.
I mean, Chris Tenney's very active still in martial arts, and I'm sure Richie is. I guess we need to start calling him Matrix. But yeah, this. There's nostalgia involved for those of us that know them, but for those of you fans who are not familiar with them, you about to see some people get karate sized. That's the only thing I know how to tell a way to say it, man. I'm pumped up for that match. Because,
Yeah.
And I tell you, a good way to get some footage, not of a whole match, but if you look up Louis Theroux's Weird Weekend, the one with the AIWF is featured on their debut match against me and Don Carson is featured on that documentary.
Oh wow!
And you could see firsthand just how tough those guys are. Because actually, it was a 6-man with because Mickey Heath was also in that match.
That's right. Is that the one where they Carson and one of the it was either Tenney or Heath both got kendo sticks and were fighting like sword fighting, like lightsabers or something? Was that the same match or was that another one?
I'm not sure, but it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
I know that at one point I got Richie kicked me off of the apron, and I flew off and went through a barbed wire board at the end. So yeah, these guys are serious.
Yeah, these aren't guys that have just been sitting on their couch for the past 15, 20 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, just look at them.
Yeah,
I mean, they haven't aged today.
They look, and they look as in good a shape as they did 20 years ago. So I mean, they've been taking care of themselves. They're in, like I said, whether or not Richie is doing active competition, he's still obviously working out and still training. I mean, those are two guys I would not mess with.
And that's an F around and find out type of group of people.
Yeah, and Corey and Mecca are going to find out the hard way October 26th.
Yeah, because I think Corey has forgotten. I mean, because he knew. I mean, you heard what he said about that. He thinks Richie or Matrix abandoned them. So I think he's forgotten what a tough match this is going to be. So.
Yeah. I think he let his emotions overtake him and just didn't really think this through.
Mm.
So
yeah, we'll see. Somebody posted a picture of Clara Carter and some new gear.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't do it justice here. But I thought it was sheer at first. It's not. It's just a very off-colored orange. But I was about to say, damn, Clara, you're a little risque with that new gear. I'm just but it's not sheer. It looks sheer, but it's not. It's actually orange. That's why I'm sitting there like, what the hell? Yeah, the one thing I can say about Clara Carter, if anything, she is not sleazy, not in any shape.
No,
not at all. Like I've always said, I don't even like to classify her as a female wrestler. I like to classify her as a wrestler.
Yeah.
So,
well, I call her brother. So I mean, and so that's just it is what it is. But yeah, it's like when we were talking about Bailey the other day, and like I cannot look at any kind of risque picture of Bailey. I just can't. There's some women in this world that I don't want to see in that light. And of course, being us both being married and everything, but I was just like, I was about to send her a message, be like, damn girl, that's a little edgy. When's your husband coming back from Japan?
Good Lord. So
Seth Clayton Burns might be listening to this and like feverishly looking on Facebook, like, I don't know, Claire, he might be looking in your window right now. So
that's possible with a neck brace on. Chris Tenney, who is always in the chat usually, says that that was another one with the kendo sticks. This one was him and Brian hitting each other with metal pans over and over again with blood all over the place.
Oh, okay.
And I have found some pictures of Chris Tenney and Brian's matches. I might start putting them up on my Reagan Danzig
Okay.
thing, just so people can kind. Now the pictures are terrible because it's 1919. It's like 2001, 2000 when you take pictures with a honest to God camera. So
Yeah. Yeah, and one with film and all that kind of jazz.
mm.
Joining us right now is
Oh,
Commissioner
Lord.
Rick Diesel.
Well,
And we can hear you, but we can't see you yet.
That's weird.
no picture.
That's all right. I was getting ready to read ads anyway, so just fiddle with that, and we'll come back to you because we gotta do some national promotion talk. Let's see here. All right. So let's go to our friends at Branch Management. All right. Now, autumn is almost here, guys. So time to plant. All right. So if you want to put in shrubs or get a tree going, now is the time. And Branch Management can help you with that. As you can see, I don't know about up in the northern part of the state, but down here in Concord, the dogwoods are already starting to go because we've had cool nights and they're starting to lose their leaves. They're not going fast, but some of the leaves are turning and falling off. So that is a good sign that if you are thinking about planting, you need to get it done. Branch Management can help you with that. They can help you with any type of general contracting, gutter cleaning, pressure washing. They offer free estimates, which is the best part about that is that it's free. 336-648-2487, 336-648-2487. Again, fall is here, my friends. If you're going to plant something and you want it to be ready to rock and roll by springtime, it needs to go in the ground now. You need to water it a lot. It needs to get a good sleep through the winter. Roots dig deep and grow big and strong, and it'll be ready to go for you in the spring. So 336-648-2487. Hey, man, you never hurt anybody's feeling if you plant a dogwood or a poplar anytime. And, especially a poplar, it'll be shade for future generations. But anyway, 336-648-2487. I'm not being prejudiced against oak trees, but they make acorns, and some people don't like that. Tease Treats is a locally owned food truck based in Mount Airy. They're the official concessionaire of the AIWF Mid Atlantic. You can call 336-755-8204 for availability. And I can tell you this weekend, all this week, starting on Tuesday, they are going to be at the Surry County Agricultural Fair at Veterans Park in the main concession stand near the picnic shelter. Where they have the two big concrete block buildings built out of cinder blocks. They'll be in one of them. And so they're going to be easy to find. They'll be at the fair. Great food. Roy, man, I mean, you just can't go wrong with Tease Treats. You can check them all out on Facebook or wherever you find them. And you might even see the Mayberry Deputy if it's the right time of year. Who knows? But I love that picture. But all kinds of great decadent items from Tease Treats available for you to take care of that hunger. So make sure when you come to the fair this week that you come hungry because Tease Treats will take care of you. Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains is a gaming store that also features collectible toys, retro gaming consoles, and games, as well as free-to-play arcade cabinets. They do Magic the Gathering tournaments. They host Dungeons and Dragons campaigns several times a week. They're located at 18184 Leesville Road in Evington, Virginia. That's near Lynchburg. Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop for you to get your nerd on. Open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. They don't close until the dice stop rolling. They buy, sell, trade, barter, and haggle, specializing in collectibles of all types, both vintage and modern. Table space available for Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, or any other tabletop game. You can even bring your own tabletop game and host your game night with us. They feature console games like old Nintendo and Sega classics, as well as the arcade cabinets with hundreds of your old school favorites all set to free play. I ran across one of those free play Centipede games a couple of weeks ago and remembered that I was not very good at that when I was a kid. Still not good at it. Our Monday night D&D group has been running for over a year, and they welcome newcomers, both experienced and inexperienced. Also host video game competitions for games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, just to name a few. Something for the gamer and collector and us all. Give them a call at 434-317-0121. That's 434-317-0121, or shoot them an email with any questions at secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. That's secondhandheroesva@gmail.com, but you don't spell out second. Use the abbreviation 2ND. So secondhand heroes let me try again. secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Their inventory changes daily because of all that haggling and trading they were telling you about. Here's a nice shot of some of the trophies you can win that look like wrestling belts from Secondhand Heroes. So tell them we sent you and enjoy it. Secondhand Heroes. Welcome, Rick Diesel.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can. Yeah, and live and in living color.
That's my whole thing is just weird because you guys are up in the little corner, and for some reason I am I'm down here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking up my whole screen. I'm trying to figure out now how to fix it so that I can see us all the way it's supposed to be.
I think if you just drag the three little pictures of us to the side, it'll change. Maybe.
Yeah. It won't let me drag
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
There's
either.
a view button. Actually, look for the view button at the very top.
Got it.
And then you're going to go to gallery view or multi-speaker.
Oh, there
view.
it is. Got it. Got it.
All right. I
That
did look.
fixed it.
Well, Rick Diesel, we covered it earlier in the show. I don't know if you were able to see it, but we did cover and show the video of you coming out making a big speech at the beginning of the show last night, and basically telling everybody in the locker room that anything weird or bad that happens going forward is Ty Tyson's fault. Everybody that's got a beef with Ty Tyson, I made the analogy earlier, swarmed the ring like Yellow Jackets. And, chaos ensued. So do you have any additional thoughts you'd like to add to your comments last night, sir? The floor is yours.
Well, and I'll start it off with a question. Who here does not agree with me?
What?
I agree with what? That you shouldn't
That
be
is Ty
actively.
Tyson. It's Ty Tyson's fault.
What?
If Ty Tyson at Capital Punishment had not came to the ring and attacked Lewis Moore, Brian would have not had to go out there and try to stop it, and he wouldn't have got laid out. Reagan, in turn, had to go out there trying to save her husband, which in turn, she got punched, at which time I had no intentions of going out there. But I had to go out there trying to do something with Ty, and I got punched. Tell me how everything after that was not Ty's fault.
Well, okay. First
I think
of all,
Reagan went in the ring to stop a murder from being committed.
I was trying to stop him. Brian was blindsided by Lewis Moore, not Ty Tyson.
But still, Ty Tyson came to the ring. If it had just stayed out of the ring, it would have never happened.
Well, he was in a match, though. I mean, with Lewis.
I was knocked down because Matt pointed this out. I had calmed down Ty a little bit, and he was walking away, and I made the mistake of patting him on the shoulder and like taking his arm, and then it was unintentional.
Listen.
I still blame Lewis Moore myself.
There's many details, but one thing I will agree with you, Rick Diesel, I will go on record and say this: if Ty Tyson had not taken that belt and tried to strangle Lewis Moore,
right,
and
none of this would have happened.
No, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. So
none of this would have happened. And I'm just trying to put the blame where the blame goes. I know Lewis Moore, he started all this a long time ago, but listen, if there's one thing, like I said last night in the ring, just because Ty Tyson is the father of my grandchildren, he has to, let's just say because he is the father of my grandchildren, he needs to be held to a higher standard. He needs to know there's consequences for doing stuff in this company. You know, I mean, come on. Just because he's married to my daughter does not mean he gets a pass.
I think getting a pass versus what happened last night is not. I don't think they are equitable. Those are. I mean, nobody. No, I don't think anybody thinks he should get a free pass. So maybe he gets a talking to in the back, but
A talking to?
A talking to, not a full correction.
That's what they do to my grandchildren. They give them a talking to. He's not 4.
But now he did get a suspension, a 30-day suspension.
which is. I mean,
y'all keep struggling with trying to take up for him. That's okay.
Well,
Yeah, I'm going to have to take sports announcer.
I'm not saying that he did nothing wrong. I mean, he did. It's just that I don't know if in this case having half the locker room jump him and beat him down is.
Well, I did not ask. I did not authorize that. I did not authorize that. They took that upon themselves.
I wonder if John
I was
Moxley,
almost a victim of that myself.
I wonder if John Moxley saw that footage and went, that's a good idea, but I think a plastic bag will work better. So,
I mean, well, I guess I could. I mean, I think you might. Okay, so this is the thing. We're all older and more knowledgeable, and I thought more mellowed out.
Y'all should be thanking me.
I don't know, but everything is different now. It's not like 15, 20 years ago where we're all like madmen running around bleeding everywhere and doing videos with bad kids. I mean, like that was we're not those people anymore.
And if you had bad kitty tonight in our game, drink now.
I'm just saying, we're not those people anymore. And I don't know why you would do something like this when it's going to affect not only wrestling, but the world outside of Veterans Park.
Listen, again, you guys should be thanking me just for the very reasons that you just said what you said, Reagan. Because now, look, I'll step in and I'll take the heat. I'll take the reins of this thing and I'll direct it where it needs to go. And I will lay down the law as it should be. And Brian can enjoy his retirement because he's an awesome commentator. He can sit over there and he can bring his expertise and his charisma to that commentator's table. And Reagan, you can stay back there in the production kitchen cooking up good videos and TV shows where you belong. You see what I'm saying?
He's just trying to make everybody's life easier, folks.
I'm just trying to make.
I'm gonna tell you right now, in this house, I don't even go to the kitchen in this house. And stuff.
That's your house. But see, now Mid Atlantic can be my house, and I'll whip up the recipes and you guys just cook them and talk about them. How's that?
Well, this is not that we asked for this, because when Smiling Diamond Dave was running wild as commissioner and doing a bunch of stuff that a lot of people did not like, I heard fans come to me, and I even mentioned it to Rick Diesel in person. Like, why don't you do something? You're the top commissioner. You're the top commissioner. Nope, I'm going to stay out of it. I'm going to stay out of it. I'm going to stay out of it. Well, you wanted him back. Now you got him.
Like I
said, you're going to have to deal with it now.
I was content. Taking change to the concession stand. I was content, cleaning up the office after the show. I was content bringing Reagan cheesecake to the production area. I was okay with that. For a while, I was Reagan's gopher. I didn't mind. I was content with that. I'd take a nap. You know what I'm saying? All these things for 30 plus years I've been building up to. But I got to thinking, Ty Tyson come in just because he's married to my daughter and the father of my grandchildren. He thinks he can just do what he wants to. You know what I'm saying? And so maybe what this company needed was a firm hand, you know, just to guide it in the right direction.
Yeah.
I've done it before. I was commissioner for a while back in the 90s.
Oh,
early
we talked about it.
2000s.
Yeah,
We
we
talked
talked
about
about
it.
it earlier. Yeah.
And
See,
things
Cyber
went pretty
Zone.
smooth then, didn't they? Nobody
Well, I don't know if
died.
it was smooth, but it was sure as hell
I don't know.
entertaining.
I don't know that getting drugged by cars was the.
Well, no, that
I
wasn't
would
his
guess
fault. He was the victim of that.
I
Yeah.
was a victim of the car drag, and I got hit by a car.
Yeah.
So, I
That's
mean,
what I'm
A lot of cars involved. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I mean, and I did say earlier, it's right on. I said you start. How did I put it? I mentioned the running the money, the doing the stuff in the back, was probably eating you alive, and that's why you did it. I can see your warped perception, I guess, but I just think I don't know. I don't know.
maybe what this company needs is a little 90s injection.
Maybe,
You know?
maybe. I'm having a tough
Yeah,
time the
I'm
last
not-
few
I'm
minutes.
not
I saw a
disputing-
cat, and now I'm hearing Barney Fife telling Andy Griffith he's warped, and Andy going, Barney, I'm not warped. I'm sorry. Having a tough time.
Listen, I'm already planning stuff for Fright Night. I've been on the phone today, even while we was getting everything ready for the Surry County Fair, because I got other things. See, I had all these other obligations. Now this is piled in on top of. That's why I had to get my personal assistant, who I think is going to work out real good.
If he doesn't have a broken neck, we looked at that footage a little bit earlier too.
Yeah, that happened after I introduced him as a personal assistant. We'll just deal with that. I
Yeah.
haven't heard anything yet, but I think he'll do. He's got a good, and he dresses really well. He wears a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when he does like to go around with his shirt off a lot, but we'll deal with that. Baby steps.
All right.
But I think what this company needs is a firm hand to kind of guide it. You know, like I said, guide it in the right direction. Some people might have to take a few lumps. Some people might have to take a few, you know, chair shots, or it might get a little rough during the transition. But I think everybody will be better off for it.
Mm-hmm.
When it's all said and done, when the smoke clears and the stitches heal, I think we'll all be better off for it.
This sounds like a dictator's speech.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. You know,
Let me tell you something. If everything that I'm working on works out for Fright Night, you will not want to miss it.
Yeah.
I can't say that now. Too early.
Well, yeah. So, one last thing before we get out of here, and I want to kind of get y'all's opinion on it. Well, let me ask you this: you're in front of a microphone, in front of a live audience. Is anybody else having to fight the temptation to say they're eating the dogs into the microphone? Because I am right now. I just want to do that so bad. It's just.
Well,
it's eating at me.
I've seen the
The TikTok remixes are going through my head at least 25% of my waking day.
and I'm gonna say every wrestler thing that pops up in my Facebook feed is showing the big boss man handing that tray over to Al Snow in that hotel room.
It
So,
started on Wednesday morning. Oh my God.
But
Proof positive. Video footage.
Yeah, and this is from almost 20 years ago. So
Chris Tenney
See?
points out Sexy Steve wore a suit, but that did not qualify him to be an assistant, and if he asked myself, nor a wrestler. So
Sexy Steve.
That was a different time. That was a different time.
Why do I
and-
remember
and-
that name, but I cannot place a face with it?
But here's the thing.
they
Here's the
think I'm
thing.
mad at him if I say.
Sexy. He
Right,
was
right.
out of his element when he was like that. He didn't come into his own till later.
Oh, okay. I know who it
Okay.
is now.
Okay.
That jogged my memory.
He didn't come into his own till later when everything changed and he found his true identity. I think Seth. I think Seth Clayton Burns. He already has his identity. He already knows who he is. He dresses because he knows that's what he's supposed to do. He's a business like me and him sat down and talked last night before the neck thing, and that's why I decided to name him as my personal assistant, because just talking to him. So I've never really just sat down and talked and listened to him, but he's an intelligent man.
Oh yeah, he's sharp.
He's got some smarts back in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think between me and him, you know what I'm saying? And I'll listen to some of his suggestions, but I mean, between me and him, there's no telling what we can mold this back into.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, it'll be very interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
I
don't know that it's going to be the calm oasis that you're promising, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I'm not expecting no oasis either, Brian.
Me either. There might be an oasis, as in the band.
But I think if everybody just plays it cool, let me and Seth do our thing, just hang in there for the ride. Yeah,
I don't think anybody's going to buy the ticket and take the ride with this thing.
I think people's just going to want to come see what happens next. I think it's time for these guys to if they want to be wrestlers this time, by God, they're going to have to be fighters.
All
you
right.
know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that we're starting a journey that's going to lead to wonderful things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
I am going to say, if you say that kitchen comment to me in my face, we might have an issue.
I mean, I was trying to use language that you would understand.
I think you know me well enough to know that this is not a button you should be pushing.
Well, let me try to divert the topic into a couple of things going on in a big national promotion we're familiar with called WWE. Is anybody looking forward to the 6-part Netflix documentary about Vince McMahon? Because I sure as hell am. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting, I think, because he don't got his fingers in it no more, and whatever they're gonna do. I've heard there's been over 200 hours of interviews. They're going to whittle it down to 6 hours.
Wow.
So I think I think you're going to get a more closer to what actually happened than if it would have been a WWE production and completely whitewashed.
Oh, definitely.
And I think what's going to be interesting about this is it starts off because he was going along with it. He was, they're actually interviewing him. He's in it. They're doing backstage stuff with him. And so it's going to be interesting to see the evolution from him being on board, working with them, to what happens, by the end.
He ain't got his fingers in it the whole way.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he had it after the Janelle Green stuff came out, but what's her name? Janelle Green.
Seth is throwing ideas at me right now.
Oh Lord.
That kid, man. That kid. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. And also I think it's interesting how quiet it's been on the Vince McMahon legal front for the last few months. The last we heard, the FBI had asked Janelle Grant's lawyers to stop their pursuit of the civil case because they were pursuing criminal charges, and they didn't want what they were doing to come out in a case before they were ready to present it. And so they were like, hold your horses, you'll get your chance. But that was 3-4 months ago, that news, and it's been quiet ever since. So I'm wondering if
just need to leave Vince alone.
That shoe is going to drop at some point. I mean, this has been going on for years, this investigation, I understand. So I'm wondering when they're going to finish up with discovery, and we'll ever see if and when we're going to see any charges.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure it's a matter of time, and I'm sure Vince's lawyers are telling him to just keep quiet, because that's probably best in his best interest. Just stay out of the spotlight and keep quiet.
Aren't they just wasting a bunch of money trying to go after somebody that they can't punish anyhow?
Well, yeah,
And
that's
then
what I'm
lost
thinking.
everything.
Money away from him.
It's like a Joe Paterno type thing. I mean, you know, if they convict his health's failing, Linda McMahon has gone public and saying that, you know, and
Just leave him alone.
the clock's going to run out. No, they need to bring him to justice. I mean, you know,
What kind of justice can they bring him to?
If
He's
they get a
100
conviction.
freaking years old.
if they can
What
get
they
a
gonna do?
conviction,
Die in fucking prison.
I think he'll
mine's-
die before he gets there. Honestly, especially if they do
Does
bring
he
it to
really
trial.
deserve that?
Huh?
Oh my God.
I mean, does he listen as a man in a position of power now? Does he really deserve to go to prison at his age? I mean,
Yes.
how long?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Give him 6 to 12 months, and so he'll die in prison? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Just take some more stuff away from him, throw an ankle monitor on him, tell him to stay within the boundaries of the hedge line, and leave him the hell alone.
Well,
I don't even know what to say about that.
yeah, Reagan has to teach government and civics. That's
reminds
not how the
me-
justice system works.
It reminds me of a joke John Cleese told. He said a judge told he sentenced an old man to 50 years in prison, and he said, "But I'm 80 years old." He said, "Well, just do what you can."
Just do what you can.
That's sad.
That is
This
great.
man.
John Cleese was a fucking genius.
I'm just
So you know, it's not up
40
to the judge to say. I mean,
Not-
if he lives to 120, he can serve most of his
because
term.
this is my thing. I don't care if I don't care if it's 5 minutes. He needs his comeuppance. He has done dirty. I mean, his whole life is not just that, but I mean, there's all these rumors for all these years that's him going in and taking territories over and putting companies out of business and not treating his workers well and not helping them, you know, like all this stuff and just throwing them to the wolves and just, you know, it's just it's not just about that one case. It's about everything he does. And that kind of person who's a megalomaniac needs to be brought down a few pegs and put in his place and have to answer for some of the millions of things he has done.
He's
They
also
took
made
his
he's
empire
also
from
he's
him.
made hundreds of people very wealthy too. So
Yeah.
I agree completely. He needs to be brought to justice for any criminal charges, predatory business practices. I'm not crazy about it. I don't like some of the stuff that he did, but to be honest, in my humble opinion, he saw that cable was going to make wrestling territories obsolete, and he was the first one that figured it out and went into attack mode. You know, so you know,
Oh, so we're just going. I get he done a few bad things, but are we just going to ignore the 40+ years of wrestling enjoyment and entertainment that this man has brought to wrestling fans all over the world, just like it never happened?
no,
You
I
know,
won't.
oh yeah, he done a couple bad. They took his empire away from him. He's probably sitting at home eating tapioca pudding now, not knowing what to do with his life. How much more humiliation do you want this poor man to suffer?
It's not about humiliate.
Whatever he put JR through times 3, I'll say that. That's what I would like.
JR ain't hurting for nothing. Thanks to Vince McMahon, JR has a freaking barbecue sauce empire.
Well,
I'm
his
having a
wife
real
might
bad-
have.
I'm
His
trying to
mother
rub
might
my
have had a
hair
little bit to
with
do
that.
with that, but you know,
But I mean, you know,
if I walk into
I
Rick
get-
Diesel's house right now, am I seeing a jar of barbecue sauce and some main event mustard, you know, on the counter?
I just feel like that we need to take into consideration all the things he's done for this business over the years. Would we all really have done what we've all done without him?
No.
No, I didn't watch WWF.
See?
I
See?
didn't watch. No, I said I didn't watch. WWF is not what got me into wrestling as an adult. It was WCW Nitro and NWO. So
Well, yeah, but they all come from WWF.
and they went out of business in 2001.
See, it's like 6
Well, I'm
degrees.
saying
of
that's not
Kevin
what
Bacon.
got me in.
It's like
Correct.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You can't pick a wrestler and not tie him to Vince McMahon somehow.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Couple of other newsworthy, easy for me to say, things to go over. Finally, the day that wrestling fans have been dreaming of for about 15 years now is coming. Monday Night Raw is going back to 2 hours. Thank you, wrestling gods. Not that there's anything wrong with the 3-hour show. Oh, wait, yeah, there is. It's 3 hours on a Monday night.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I can see why. I think back in the old days, Dusty Rhodes, when he was Booker at Jim Crockett Promotions, had to program TBS Saturday and Sunday shows. That was 3 hours, 2 hours of syndication a week. That was 5 hours of TV, right, a week. And he had Bell's palsy a lot. A lot of times he would have a Bell's palsy, breakout. That's stressful. I can't imagine trying to program WWE. I remember thinking when Triple H had his heart problems, I was like, well, shit, can you blame him? Look how much television he's got to program every week. And I know this is only 1 hour difference, but 8 to 10 is a whole lot more manageable, and you can make it a whole lot more exciting than 8 to 11, just in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think.
When you're trying to stretch out one program for 3 hours, it's one thing to do, even if you did 3 1-hour programs, then you have 3 different programs with a beginning and an end. You have to entertain people for that hour. When you have to keep people engaged and entertained for 3 hours, I mean, it's very hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
Vince
that's why people complain about movies being too long.
Vince was able to do it. See, they didn't lose that till after he left.
I don't think they lost anything. I think they gained something. And being a regular viewer of WWE, I can tell you that since Vince has been gone, things have been a lot better. As far as storyline wise,
even when he leaves, he helps the company.
I can't. You can't argue with nonsense. Like, that's what's wrong with the world right now, is you can't argue with nonsense. Like, when things, there's no valid argument to something that is so flawed. For some, you just cannot come with.
Are we still talking about the 3rd hour of Raw?
I don't know. I think she switched to Trump.
I don't know where she's going with this now, but I feel targeted.
I just feel like I'm hearing things that are not, and it's
all right. So
exacerbated.
So when Raw moves to Netflix,
not since I was about 13. What'd she say?
That's what I heard too. When Raw moves to Netflix
I stopped that after I got a girlfriend.
Masturbation. No.
That's what she said.
I said exacerbation.
Oh, I don't know the difference. It's all jerking to me.
That's like Yellowstone. I don't know what that means, Beth. Anyways, so when Raw moves to Netflix in January, the talk of the internet is it's going to be commercial free. So that should be interesting. But the other thing that I heard is because Raw is moving, NBC wanted a little more from the WWE. So they got SmackDown on USA, and NXT is moving to CW, and that's just in a few weeks. But they are going to bring back Saturday night's main event. My understanding is the contractual agreement was for 4 primetime specials a year. And
with Jesse Ventura and his yappity yap.
Oh, was Jesse Ventura going to be on there?
I've seen that he's going to be a color commentator on it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All he'll do is get on there and talk about how he hates everybody in the world.
I hope not.
Yeah, that doesn't sound familiar at all, does it?
See?
So, anyways, so Saturday night's main event is coming back. The first episode
in the right direction.
The first episode of Saturday night's main event is going to be up against AEW's World End pay-per-view at the end of the year.
Woo!
In December. Same night, same city, but Saturday night's main event is going to be on NBC for free.
Well, I'm gonna that kind of ties into the
Same
picture
city?
that I just sent you from the collision. This is a
Yeah.
picture that is from collision this past Saturday. I read that it was 90%. Like it was only filled 10% of the size of the arena.
Yeah.
And so-
Let me see if I can screen share so the viewers at home can see that. Yeah, because I tried to send it to you guys earlier, but
that
I don't-
picture, yeah, I didn't get it. I saw it on something and showed Brian.
Mhm.
Let's see. And it's somebody shot it with their phone in portrait position, so it's straight up and down, so it's kind of a little hard to see, but here it is. The arena does not look healthy. I wonder if it let me
Maybe-
zoom in. No, it's not really cooperating with me, but it's not good. Here we
No,
go.
it's not. I mean, and it's just.
Well, I
with-
feel like the only problem here is they picked too big of an arena. It's hard for people on our level to say that looks bad because we couldn't do it.
Yeah,
know,
but we
not
also
even
don't
with a
have
scaffold
a-
match.
we're also not on worldwide TV.
Right.
And we don't have a
if
bunch of
we're-
celebrities.
Right.
I mean, you got some of the. I mean, you got some of the biggest names in the industry. Like, I mean, and you're not.
Yeah, and
I
you're
don't-
putting that many people in a building. Yeah,
I feel
it's-
like I could be wrong, but I feel like right now there's being so many moves made by WWE with Netflix and Raw and SmackDown all moving around and everybody. That's what everybody's paying attention to right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that AEW is suffering because of all these moves WWE's make because nobody's paying attention to AEW right now because they just wait to see what WWE is going to do next.
Well, AEW, I think, has run off a lot of their fans, but it's just nonsensical booking. Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion, whatever that's
and
worth.
Usually before tonight, like one of the things I do on Sunday a lot of times, I will watch and Dynamite or Collision or what, and I started watching it today and we were like 15 minutes into promos and I just looked at Brian. I was like, I don't want to watch this. I was like, I'm just not interested at all. And so I turned it off and I don't know, looked at a cookbook.
Yeah.
So,
See?
She starts to read the cookbook. She doesn't actually like to cook.
I do look.
She just reads the cookbooks. Look at this weird recipe from the 50s.
And then if I find a casserole I like, I send it on over to Brian.
Man, some of those cookbooks from the 50s are awesome. I've got my Aunt Babs Betty Crocker cookbook from the 50s, and it is freaking great.
Well, listen, let's just using the cookbook analogy. Everybody just hang in there because there's a new chef in the kitchen at AIWF Mid Atlantic, and we got a recipe for some good crap coming up.
Some recipe for some good crap.
That should be the new AIWF slogan. Recipe for some good crap.
Oh, it sounds like a seafood boil down in Louisiana, right? That's a lot of different crap thrown in a pot and all cooked together, but it's great when it comes out. We'll see. I'm definitely excited. And don't forget, fans, AIWF Mid Atlantic will be at the fair this weekend, Friday and Saturday. We were speculating on the times. I heard last night there's 2 shows on Friday, 3 on Saturday. Is that correct?
And they was bringing all the stuff in up there a while ago, and it's quite the sight to see. It's the new fair company this year, and they got one food trailer that they brought in that's serving alligator and shark.
Really?
I don't know.
I've heard alligator's delicious.
Alligator is delicious. My grandparents grew up in Florida, so I've had alligator in the past. It's pretty good. Just like any white meat, but I don't know about shark.
Well, it's a fish.
They got we've counted somewhere between 16 and 20 rides. So, and look, I've took over for less than 24 hours now, and my phone has blew up with wrestlers wanting to come to be on the fair shows. It's going to be great this year.
Wow, there you go.
It's amazing. It's like it just spread. You know what I'm saying? It's like word that Rick Diesel's in charge just bread. And it's like amazing in the last 24 hours what's happened.
I'll tell you what,
I got wrestlers that say, hey, man, I'd love to be on the shows. Hey, can I come in? Hey, we got big thing. This year.
Yep, his microphone turned off.
Going to be interesting.
I think he's whispering.
No, he was not whispering. His microphone. It sounded like a cord came loose.
I don't know. It may have.
There
Is
it
that
goes.
better?
Yep.
I thought he was whispering.
It's going to be Fright Night this year is already shaping up. I'm 20 for less than 24 hours. I've been back in Charlotte. Fright Night is already shaping up to be amazing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your wish has been granted from about 2.5, 3 years ago. Rick Diesel is back in command as commissioner of the AIWF Mid Atlantic. We're going to have to see what happens next, but whether you like it or not, I think you'll find it entertaining. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Be interesting for sure.
Be very.
It will be. It will be a ride. It will.
That's
be a ride.
right. That's right. And with my boy Seth Clayton Burns, right hand man, he's got. See, nobody would ever listen to him before. Reagan just ignored him when you know what I'm saying? She just ignored him. He told me all about it. He said he would try to talk to her and she would just turn her nose up in the air and act like he did not exist.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I said, you don't have to worry about that no more. I got 2 ears. I can hear you out of one of them all the time. So it's going to, so boy he has some good ideas. He might be a genius.
He might be. Oh, I don't. Boy, that's a stretch.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find. Yeah, my trust issues are beginning to kick in now. I'm gonna have to wait and see. So we'll see what happens. We'll be back here, as far as I know, next week, same bat time, same bat channel, and we'll be on the road to October the 5th, which is really on the road to Fright Night. I guess we're on the road to Fright Night now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be great. I hope you go enjoy the fair shows this weekend, and we're back at the park for a TV taping on October 5th.
October 5th. That's right. Got stuff planned for that too. Just keep it. Seth Clayton Burns is like the son-in-law I've never had.
Oh my. Okay. Well, we will end it on that note, folks. So for Commissioner Rick Diesel, now back in command of the ship, Brian and Reagan Danzig, I am Mad Matt Carter. Thank you for joining us for Ringside Wrestling this week. And until next time, so long for now.